Welcome, fifth grade to day number 2 of our research and inquiry part of the reading. Again, this is the unit where we cover the Island of Blue Dolphin story. And we're going to continue today with research and inquiry. Today is really a day where we're going to talk about what kind of things you are going to be using in order to find the information you need in order to know and tell me what things do you need to do to survive in the wilderness. And again, wilderness is like forests, tundras, the desert, things like that. So we're going to be looking at what a reliable source is. And I'd like to write these down actively so that we are, because this can be a little complicated because a reliable source, I feel like a lot of people over time have argued back and forth about what's a reliable source. In short, in English, and Ms. Fields and other teachers that have already covered this have gone over this, but again, a reliable source, there we go. A reliable source, first of all, trusted. It's a website or a place that has already built up, I'd say, I'd call experience or credit. They've built up credit in order to say, because the way you build up credit if you're a source is you keep putting out good websites that don't have a lot of advertisements or don't have false or fake information. So one, it's a trusted source. The next thing that you want to make sure that your source has, of course, is it has to be findable. It's easily found. You don't want to have to go through a whole bunch of different pages just to find one website that has the information you're looking for. So it has to be a trusted source. It has to be a findable source. So a good one, just off the top of my head, Wikipedia. Wikipedia is good now as younger students because what we look up is going to be really straightforward. Like you might do, my example you'll see today is baseball. You might do baseball. Something that if a Wikipedia person has gone through and added information on, it's all there in one place and it's super easy to find. So it's a trusted source, it's a findable source, but the big thing is you want it to be a source that isn't necessarily, I don't want to say sketchy, but I want to say that it's a source that is about your topic. For instance, you wouldn't want to go and look at NASA.com to go look up, or if you're trying to find information about what the best fast food place in Alabama is. That's just kind of a weird, you know what I mean? So make sure that the source goes with your topic, especially if it's a website about your topic. So I know that there are several websites about how to be forest rangers. Forest rangers, if you don't know, are these guys that are out in the forest kind of just overseeing the wildlife and to be sure that it's staying preserved. Those websites, believe it or not, also come with kind of their own guide as to what you need to survive in the wilderness. And that's something that I would really encourage you to go look for when you're doing this research. You want to make sure that you have a related source. So a place like Wikipedia that I mentioned earlier, that's going to be related to a whole lot of different topics, because Wikipedia, sort of like the word encyclopedia, it's a whole bunch of information about a whole bunch of different things. So this is my big theory. You want to make sure it's a trusted source. You want to make sure that you can find the source, and you want to make sure that your source is related to your topic. Something like Wikipedia, not really worried about that, but you don't want to go look up on Amazon Shopping. You don't want to go to Amazon Shopping Center when trying to find information about how to survive in the wilderness. So make sure that you're going to places that match up. Now, got a little treat for you. I'm going to show you how I would approach doing this with baseball, which again was my example from yesterday. So I'm going to exit this, and I am off camera, but I'm going to make sure to be as loud as I can to get rid of my writing from earlier. So notice that in the search bar, I did all about baseball. Now what's cool about Google, and that's the search engine that I'm using here. What's cool about Google is that if you type something kind of simple, like you might just do Tigers, or maybe Alabama or Auburn football. A lot of the times you're going to get this here as well as something on the side over here. These are really cool because they're sort of a little mini lesson on what your topic is. So mine was baseball. I typed in all about baseball. Baseball is a bat and ball game played between two opposing teams who take turns batting and fielding. I'm not going to read the rest, but do you see that I don't even have to go into a website and I'm already getting information on my topic? You also have pictures. You've got a guy here, you've got the field here, kind of overview, you've got all these different cool pictures here. So that can be really helpful. And then another cool thing here is on the side, you have baseball again. You have the same thing it says over here, but you have a little bit more information. World Games, dates, the equipment they use, the players that are in the game. So you see, sometimes without even going into the website, you can already get a lot of really good information about your topic. Now, I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to do another topic and show you how I'll Google it. So our open-ended topic was how to survive in the wilderness. I'm going to say, I'm not going to use the word wilderness or how to survive because a lot of you, I feel like, could just copy this, and I want to make sure you're doing your own work. But what if we did something like strategies for, let's see, chess. So if I was really into the game chess, I could do strategies for chess. And look at this. Same as before with baseball. You don't even have to go into a website just yet. You already have bullets here that essentially answer what I'm looking for. And one of my favorite things here, there are related searches to this. Strategies for chess. You might want the step-by-step strategies. Google already suggests it for you. You also might want to do, if you're a beginner to chess, you might want to say, well, I want a beginner's guide to chess. Or if you were looking for a specific strategy, they even have King of the Hill as a specific strategy. So, translate that back to when you're looking up wilderness survival tactics. Again, how to survive in the wild. If you literally type up here, how to survive in the wilderness, I guarantee you're going to get a page like this with all this information. But I don't want you to make your PowerPoint just off of this. Let's find a source. So when I want to find a specific website, I'm going to take my arrow here, I'm going to scroll down. Now, if I want to get to where that there in the middle comes from, I can click right here, and it will take me to the website that is coming from. I'm going to let it load up here, if internet decides to behave, that is. All right, it says Chess Strategy Tips for Beginners, the definitive guide. Now, look at all of this information. Do you see how tiny the scroller is here? That means it's going to be pages and pages of information. And I'm going to be honest, boys and girls, I do not want you to go through all of this and just think, oh, I've got to read all of this. I have to go through the entire thing and make a PowerPoint out of it. No, not exactly. You want to look at the headers. You want to, and again, the headers are these big bolded titles here. You want to look at these headers, and that is how you are going to determine what do I need to read from this page. If you find an article about surviving in the wilderness, you may not want to talk about specifically food. You might want to talk about shelter first, and you might look for a header that says how to build shelters. And that kind of information is what you want. So last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll a little bit down the page to see if I can find a header that is interesting to me. Aha, here we go. Always, advertisements. And you see, sometimes, boys and girls, you can't necessarily help the advertisements coming up, but you can always find that X button and get rid of them. Like that. So, always develop your pieces as quickly as possible. Developing your pieces as quickly as possible is also a very important chess strategy, since your pieces are like your army. There are the ones that will help you dominate the board and eventually help you win the games. I'm going to stop there, but do you see? I wanted to know about how my pieces need to be set up, and this gives me a good little overview. Now again, you're not doing your project on chess. You're doing your project on how to survive in the wilderness. But I think with these little tips and tools, you can use the internet, Google, your search engine, to find that information quickly and efficiently. Well, boys and girls, last thing I'm going to say is do not stress about the research project. Have fun looking up these things. And it doesn't have to be pages and pages of words. You can find videos on this. I know there are videos on how to survive in the wilderness. I've watched them for fun. So use YouTube, use Google, use anything that you can to find the resource. But make sure, like I said, it's trusted, it's related to your topic, and of course, it's reliable. Make sure that your sources meet those three things. Hope you guys are doing well today. Google Forms assignment is just going to be sharing with me what all that you've gathered on your topic. So you'll see it'll say, Wilderness Research Assignment, what have you learned from your first day of research? I cannot wait. I can't even tell you how excited I am to see what kind of things you're going to come up with. And I will, in between now and then, make sure you're reading up on the research, make sure you're getting exercise, doing all those things. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.